All right, guys. So first thing is we're going to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew whenever I first started. So number one, the cool thing is when you've been here for 5 years, guys, you get to keep your residual income for life. I tell everybody that comes into our business, it would be ridiculous to work here for anything less than years, because everybody who sticks around, it's called stick and stay, it makes it pay. It's a willable asset that you can keep those renewals for the rest of your life. And if you pass away, those renewals still keep going to your family. It's a willable asset. And guys, it is insane what that looks like when you're here for a long time, what the residual income, just the freedom and the peace of mind it gives you and your family. So anyways, let's cover number one. So number one thing that I wish I knew whenever I first started. So number one is formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. So you want to be someone worth following, and that only comes for you. That only comes from you by continuing growing and sharpening yourself. You can be somebody who just comes to meetings and calls and just goes with the flow with life and work, or you can be a student of the game and just master one skill at a time, and understanding it's not up to anybody else other than yourself to get ahead in life and in this career. Whoever is on fire, pick their brain and implement it. We're so lucky to be able to do that here. Most sales jobs, they don't, give out all the cool nuggets of what they're doing well. They want to keep it for themselves. Most other sales careers, guys, if you guys have ever worked for a different company that is sales, they don't want to share the hidden secret for what's working for them. They're competing with each other. Here, we're not. We want everybody to be successful. Okay, so pick their brain, follow them. Many years ago, this was probably 7 years ago, it was whenever I was in San Francisco, my very first company trip. I saw J.J. Jordan. He's now an agency owner, but at the time, J.J. Jordan was just a sales guy, kind of like me back in the day. And he was a beast at working off referrals. And he had a big part in front of the whole company talking about how he worked off a referral-based business, how he got 10, 15 referrals every single day, non-negotiable. And then how he worked those referrals, by using an older version of what's called Sales Rabbit now. It used to be the version before that, and how he was using that. I remember just taking so many notes on that, because I was like, I'd only been here for a few months, and I was definitely still cold calling 99% of the time. So I remember that part right there evolutionized my career. It just changed my career for the better. And guys, right now we have so many resources. We have the websites, the Protect One Family website, FHL Connect, and it's your responsibility to know those websites. There really shouldn't be anything on those websites that you don't know or you don't understand. Technical training, audio training, handling objections, the sales talk. We cannot do your push-ups for you. I can't do your push-ups for you. So those are things that you have to do outside of normal working hours, outside of getting your 30 demos each week, to sharpen your skill set and just make you better. So formal education will make you a good living. Self-education will make you a fortune. That was number one. Number two, there's only one certainty in this business, only one guarantee in this business. You can't succeed if you quit. You can't succeed if you quit. You'll want to quit multiple times. You'll catch yourself. Oh, what would it be like? Man, if I had a guaranteed paycheck, if I could just work that 9 to 5. It's okay to recognize that, that may happen. But one of my quotes, I've said this a lot, is the grass is always greener on the other side until you realize it's astroturf. Things that seem more glorious, it's all for just show. The grass is greener where you water it. Peter Ferre, he was the founder of Legacy about 22 years ago. He said that we have a crazy business. It's the furthest thing from sexy. But we can impact a lot of people, live out our dreams, and have a flexible lifestyle. And freedom and flexibility, that's sexy. Now, Peter, he's retired, lives off his, on his 800-acre ranch in Oregon, living off $1 million a year of residual income. That's something that you can see that's incredible. And Travis Wilson, he says this, agency owner up there in Minnesota, he says this career, it starts off as a job at first, and then it flips into a career, and then it turns into a business where your revenue minus expenses equals your net income, and then it turns into a mission. A mission every day to find people who's trying to change their life and take advantage of a life-changing opportunity. Finding people who realize this career has nothing to do with your age, what your last name is, who you are, who your parents are. All it has to do is with your results and your effort, period. That's it. That was number 2. Number 3, Monster Mondays. Monster Mondays. You will hear this thing over and over again, but you must attack the week. I put in 12 hours every single Monday, even whenever I first started this business. Always I put in Monster Mondays, because the rest of the week builds off of the minimum you have from the start of the week. When I was selling, I would green out by Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. That was my goal. And they did a study a couple of years ago, several thousand agents over the course of a year. When somebody protects a policy, they average 8.4 policies per week. So if they submit, if they get a family protected on Monday, they will average 8.4 policies that week. If they don't write a policy on Monday, it's just right at 2.6 policies per week. It's almost 4 times less. That's a huge difference. So I told everybody, just take the pressure off the system. Take the pressure off yourself and put it on the system on Monday. So take the pressure off yourself, put it on the system on Monday, and just dive in. And no matter what on Mondays, clear the decks. There's nothing you're doing. Save all your errands for the end of the week when you're wrapping up your week, and just get things going. The Monster Monday, that was number 3. Number 4, success is rented, it's never owned, and the rent is due every day. Success is rented, it's never owned, and the rent is due every day. So just think for a moment. Who won the Super Bowl last year? Who won the Super Bowl the year before that? And the year before that? And before that? We always forget the best of the best, because time never stops. So in our business, it's the same way. We are either growing or dying. There is no neutral. There's only one way to coast, right? If you're like on a bicycle, there's only one way to coast, right? It's downhill. You cannot coast uphill. And I don't think that, probably none of you guys on this call know, when I was in my first year in the business, I was, I think, number 29 all-time rookie of the year. But you'll never hear me talk about that, because that's old news. Like, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. My best part of my career is ahead of me. Just being committed and improving each and every single week. We have never arrived. Okay? And it was almost 2 years ago, whenever I got promoted to be an agency owner. But that's just a title. I work harder now than I ever have. I'm actually even more engaged now in my business than I was, because success is rented, it's not owned, and the rent is due every single day. So it's all about growth and pushing yourself. That was number 4. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 is recruit. You need to share your story over and over and over again, because the lesson holds true. The teacher learns more than the student. If you want to get better at something, your approach, introduction, teach somebody it. Get on Zoom, do it word for word, and teach somebody it. You'll get better at it. Transition to close, if you want to master the transition to close, get somebody on the call and teach it to them. That's how you get better. I'm so fortunate to be able to work with a lot of a lot of great people in this business. The best part is that you guys bring out the best in me, and hopefully we bring out the best in you as well. I love following, several of our agents on this call, and a lot of the people here in Mexico. I remember when Tori first started, CJ, Brad, Brandy. I remember being out in the field, day one, their very first day, Trish Mosier, and she lives here in Statesville, North Carolina. I remember being up there her first 2 days in the car with her. It forced me to do the job the right way, going back to phase one activities, the way that it's supposed to be done. And we always protected families. And if you're thinking, I don't know how to recruit or train somebody, yes, you do. You definitely know how to recruit. So when you recruit somebody, you just share with somebody what got you excited about Family Heritage initially, why you came here, and where you're going with your career. That's your recruiting story. Recruiting and selling are intermixed. You simply find a need and fulfill the need, or you don't. And the right people are attracted to this business. They want to fulfill their destiny and build residual income if they're supposed to be here. This is a quote that I was told by Dan Shelton many, many, many years ago. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So in recruiting, you can't say the wrong thing. As long as your head and heart is in the right place, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and vice versa. So now we're going to dive into a little bit more in depth on the recruiting. We're going to talk about the 7 needs in recruiting. So like the other day, we talked about the needs in selling on Tuesday. We're going to talk about the needs in recruiting right now. Okay? I want you guys to be taking notes too. This is definitely a part of that. Guys, at some point, you'll be running calls like this, for you and your team. So I would recommend write a lot of this stuff down, because when you're put on the spotlight to run a call, you want to have some really good notes to share with people. So it's always good to kind of use these and use the wisdom you get from Van. So you can use that same information to teach somebody else. And that's when it really sinks in, is when you start teaching other people. The number 1 need in recruiting is the culture. It's so cool to be part of a group where everybody wants to help each other. Last night we had a dinner. Over 200 people were in that dinner. Just everybody was everybody's hugging each other, just super engaged, just great conversations. It's amazing. And here, you can earn stock in personal sales or by building an agency. But we find and attract the people that want to get ahead in life and not just get by. We find people that really want to make an impact. People who are extremely driven with an abundance mindset and realizing they're competitive. Like the people here, they're extremely competitive, and they know that records are made to be broken. People who are resilient, realizing that nothing in life comes easily. People who are dedicated to their dreams and passions and goals, they'll have for themselves. We have people here who are generous with their time, their money, realizing that the more you give, the more there is. Just having an overall giving mindset without expecting anything in return, showing gratitude. Those are the kinds of people that we're fortunate enough to work with, not just in our agencies, but in all of the agencies around Family Heritage. It's a universal culture that is very unique. There's not a whole lot of sales companies that would have the same culture that we have. Number 2 need in recruiting, why somebody would want to work here, is the impact. The impact of doing what we do. I've ran some interviews lately with different kinds of people from different backgrounds. Ran an interview last week with a guy who was a Lyft driver and somebody who's been selling like copiers for a very long time. And it's hard to feel like you're making an impact if you do that every single day, right? Selling copiers, being a Lyft driver for the rest of your life. That's something that somebody probably wants to do forever. but it means a lot when you sell something that truly makes an impact, like what we sell. You may not feel that. You may not really notice until you get your first big claim. But you should also know that, most Americans are awful at saving money. So being able to give somebody a great backup plan and force them to have a savings, that's huge. I'll give you guys a story. I got this news last week. One of my customers, he actually owns an insurance agency in Red Springs, North Carolina. Down close to Lumberton. That was my territory like 7-8 years ago, whenever I first started here. And I was just switching over from going door to door from residential to B2B. This was like either my first or second week after switching over. So I was like, still in the nervous phase of going B2B. And there's an insurance agency in Red Springs, my territory. And I approached it, Curry Insurance. And I protected the head guy there. I remember him very well because he had about 100 pictures of Carolina Tar Heels apparel all over his office. We talked about that. I was able to build some rapport. He had Michael Jordan, him meeting Michael Jordan with a picture in there, and just all these jerseys signed from Carolina basketball players. And he was a huge UNC fan. He went to Carolina, his wife, kids. And I was really nervous, talking about it was the very first insurance agency I think I've ever approached. And sat down with him and got him protected. I remember he told me about his mom that was going through cancer. And even though he sold insurance, most insurance offices, guys, don't sell cancer insurance. 99% of them do. Unless it says Aflac on it, most of those people don't sell cancer insurance, right? So, and he was the biggest power name I had in that area by far in Red Springs. Like that name. Luckily, I went there like my first couple of days there because I crushed it in that town because of that power name. And then I was able to protect the two ladies that also worked there right beside him. So anyways, got a call from him last week, and we just paid him out in one lump sum over $21,000. It's like $21,500. We just paid this guy out. He was going through aggressive prostate cancer. The sad thing is, when he was diagnosed, he was diagnosed almost a year ago. They only gave him 90 days to live. And he's still here. And it's actually a lot better. And the reason is because he was able to get the best treatment. Say, hey, if you were me, where would you go? So good news is here in North Carolina, we have a lot of good hospitals. So he was able to stay here in North Carolina and get the best treatment from the referral and not worry about money at all. So he was like, guys, like you guys did exactly what you said you were going to do. And we're going to continue paying him more money. Because he's still going through radiation right now. He's going to have that for a very long time. The fact that there's no capital policies, it's huge for him. And he, whenever I talked to him last week, he was like, man, I'm going to make sure everybody in my family has this policy. So, guys, you do a great thing. And, guys, I met that guy 7 years ago. So it is crazy the impact that you have. And he's like, I'm so glad, Kyle, that you still work for the same company. Like, he still has my cell phone number saved because I remember, making all my customers, hey, put my name in your phone, Kyle Cancer Insurance, or Kyle Family Heritage, and he still had it in his phone. So the impact that would make is huge. Number 3 reason why people want to work here, the biggest need in recruiting is a schedule. It's schedule. It's crazy to hear about some people, they only get 2 weeks vacation for the entire year at most companies. 2 weeks vacation. That's crazy. Now here, you can have more than that. It needs to be earned flexibility. Not just that you don't want to go to work for the day. You don't want to show up. It feels a lot better when you go on a vacation, when it's been planned, it's been in your schedule, it's been in your calendar, and you really work towards that trip instead of just taking time off because you want to. But when you go to build a rock in your schedule and work around it, that's exciting. I was able to do that a few weeks ago, going out to Colorado for a few days with my family, and it was amazing. Worked really hard a couple of weeks leading up to it. I made sure I had all my ducks in a row before I left. And it's great. This winter, I'll probably be taking a couple snowboard trips out west. So making sure I had those in my calendar, but I worked really hard up into those trips. You won't see me just take time off because I don't feel like working for the day. There's a big difference there. But the schedule is exciting because if you want to take a vacation, you decide when to take that trip, that you work really hard for something. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can just be a 4-day weekend, going to the lake, going to the mountains for a few days. But it's exciting being able to take those trips with your loved ones whenever you want to, after it's been earned. So number 4, a lot of people want to work here because they're stuck in their current career. There's a lot of people that actually make good income at other companies, but they're stuck where they're at right now. Like they cannot, like I'll give you an example. Like one of my best friends, he works at a law firm, but the only position higher is for him to become a partner of the law firm. And you know how long it's going to take for him to be able to get there? Either one of the original partners is either going to have to retire or say pass away. That's really the only way he is eventually going to take one of the partners of the law firm. So he may be there for 20 years and never be a partner, right? So there's a lot of people in other careers where they're stuck. Here, we have a career track that I don't determine when you guys get raises. I don't, that has nothing to do with me. That's all on you. Your results will determine when you get a raise. If you do X, Y, Z, you'll get promoted, say, to field director 3, field director 4, field director. If you do 50 submits, 2 recruits, 125,000 of team sales and premium, 2 straight quarters, you're market director. I don't determine that. You guys do. You determine your raises, and that's very, very appealing to a lot of people, getting paid what they're worth. Number 5, biggest thing in recruiting is to travel. The fact that we can just go to cool places with each other all throughout the year. Like we go on 3 trips a year. We're in Mexico right now. A lot of us are. And a lot of us will be coming back to Mexico and Cabo here in about 2.5 months. I've been in so many cool places in my almost 8 years of being here. Jamaica, Bahamas, in Mexico probably 7 or 8 times now. Vegas, San Diego, Chicago, New Orleans for Mardi Gras. Went to the NBA Finals. Watched LeBron James play against Steph Curry 5 years ago. Company trip. It was amazing. Been to so many football games. Been probably 10 or so baseball stadiums. We get to go with hundreds of people, and it's so fun. And these aren't just places that you can go to. Like we go and, free food, free drinks, 5-star resorts. We go all out on these trips. And that's not including the other side trips I've been on to take by doing this career. I went to, with Tyler Grinder, who's a market director here from Minnesota. We went to Whistler, Canada for a week and went snowboarding about 3 years ago. Best snowboard trip of all time. But being able to do that is amazing. Okay? So just being able to travel more and enjoy your life. And most of your traveling is paid for if you just do your job. So number 6, a huge need. This is actually the number 2 reason why I chose this career is residual income. I talked to a guy last night, Bennett Rusted. He's like top 10 in the company. He just started December 7th of last year. He's not even been here a year. He's been here like 10 months. Lives in Austin, Texas. He had a really good job before this, and he lost it from COVID. He was really successful, but he had a bunch of job offers. He actually moved from LA to Austin. And he said he had a big job offer from Yeti, being a big manager there, working for Yeti. There's a couple other careers as well. One was real estate, which was a career that I was looking at right out of college. But the reason why he chose his career, and this is my number 2 reason, is residual income. That it will be silly to be in sales where you have to restart every month, every year for the rest of your life. That you can work super hard this year in 2021, and that means nothing next year. That's 95% of salespeople. That's their life. It's a grind forever. Here, yeah, it's a grind, but there is that thing. There's that peace of mind at the end. If you're going to work hard, you may as well get paid off something for the life of those policies. You can build a book of business that stays with you the rest of your life. And if you move on, you get paid on the 15th of every single month for the rest of your life. It's really special. It does create a lot of flexibility for later on in the road, and a peace of mind for your family. And the last biggest thing is just the stocks and the bonuses, the extra incentives that you can win here, stocks and bonuses. The fact that you can actually own stock in our company and you can choose what to do with it. Now, I would recommend just letting it grow, but you're in control and you own it yourself. So just focus on telling your story, recruiting. It's impossible to be negative when you're telling somebody your recruiting story, why you came here and what got you excited about the opportunity. You need to have that vision. It can be simple. Guys, the bonuses in addition to stock on recruiting in our company are very big. We have several agents on this call who's going to be getting a $1,500 field recruiting bonus here really soon when these new agents that were just hired start producing business. That's a substantial paycheck right there. Some people will be getting multiple $1,500 field recruiting checks by the end of the year. Brand new agents. People have been here less than 3 months. And here you just need to have a big vision. You need to have a why you're working here, but also realizing that you make a huge impact on people. You make a huge impact on people. And you will be getting calls like what I got last week, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, and maybe next year, maybe 6 months from now, that are using the policies. And obviously you don't want to get these phone calls because you're going through something like cancer, but you feel really good. If I didn't get the courage to step out of my car when I was, 24 years old, outside of Curry Insurance in Red Springs, North Carolina, if I didn't get the courage to open up, if I was going through with what I wanted to do, to skip that business and just go to all the other businesses that didn't have the insurance logo, Michael Curry would not have been protected. And he told me he had like a $10,000 deductible. He's self-employed, has his own insurance. So that money that we paid him covered his deductible and a lot more. Huge. He's thinking about retiring. That saved a lot of his retirement and peace of mind for him and his wife. So, yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps up our call. So we just covered the 7 needs in recruiting, the 5 things that I wish I knew when I first started, and just 5 lessons that, not really just 5 things, just really lessons that I've learned over the course of my years here. And make sure you guys implement. So, guys, today's Thursday. It is Thirsty Thursday. So, super pumped. We still have half the week left. So making sure that we still have, guys, we have the number 1 incentive going out right now. So we got the Panthers. Just make sure if you write a green out this week, you get to go to the Carolina Panthers football game. If you write an Eagle, you get to go there and bring a +1. So make sure, guys, it doesn't really matter if you're sitting at 1 family protector right now, right, or 0, right? It does not matter because the magic happens on Thursday and Friday. Most people get paid, at the end of the week. Either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So most sales are usually made in the second half of the week, every single week. Like last week, we had an agent who was sitting on 0 as of Wednesday morning. It wrote over 12,000, John Helton, between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, guys, it can be done. If other people can do it, so can you. So let's make sure that, go out there today, put your best foot forward, do your 2 out of 3 today, keep it to the simple, the basics, and there will be no conference call tomorrow because it's Friday, but it is the recruiting rally call. So we're not going to have a Zoom at 8 a.m. tomorrow, but we will have the recruiting rally call, which is at 10 a.m., which is the one that Michael Casco hosts on the corporate. You guys will all get an email from corporate that has a recruiting rally call. And there's also a habit skills attitude call. I think that goes on at 10 a.m. on Fridays as well. So make sure you hop on one of those 2 calls tomorrow. get your attitude food right, get your head and heart right, and go have a great day. See you guys. I'll see you guys Monday morning.